Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here, and Apple just released their new iPhone 16 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I've been using them for about a week now. I want to give some further impressions, specifically on the Pro Max, because that's what I have my SIM card in. I should say eSIM, but regardless, I want to point out that both models are the exact same phones in terms of the camera system. Obviously, size and weight differences, screen size differences. A big difference that pulls me towards the Max model every year is the extended battery life that it gets over the smaller Pro. Anyways, let's dive into it. I want to talk about my further impressions, specifically on that camera control button using the phone. We'll show some pictures taken with this camera system as well. Let's get started. When looking at the 16 Pro, I noticed right away that the bezels were a little bit slimmer. You might not notice the difference. It is a nice addition, but by no means game-changing. In terms of overall design, it's pretty similar to the 15 Pro. I have to say I'm a little surprised with the colors this year. I really like this black titanium and actually wasn't the biggest fan of the desert titanium. I was hoping it'd be just a little bit of a darker tint. I like the sides of the desert titanium. The back's just a little bit too light for my preference, so I'm happy I did go with the black titanium. On top of those smaller bezels, you also get a larger screen as well. Makes it fantastic for consuming content. Another reason I go with the Max model. One really nice improvement is that the display gets dimmer than last year's model, which you'd think, why do you need that? Well, when you're laying in bed or you just don't want to blind your eyes, it's great to have it go all the way down to 1 nit of brightness versus the 2 nits on the 15 Pro. And yes, it does actually make a difference. Here's a look side by side, whether you're just scrolling through a social media app, watching videos, or just on the home screen, you can notice the difference in terms of brightness. Great if you're laying next to a partner and you don't want to wake them up. Apple brought the Qi 2 wireless charging standard to the iPhone 16 Pro and upped the wireless charging speed with a compatible charger. They even have a 2-meter MagSafe charger now. So your iPhone 16 Pro can now charge up to 25 watts wirelessly if you're using a 30 watt and above charging brick. Something you might not look for, but I use wireless charging, especially with MagSafe, all of the time, so this is a very welcome change. Just a quick side note, I've dropped this phone a few times on hardwood, tile, and one was on the sidewalk. It wasn't from too high up, but I didn't notice any scratches, blemishes, anything like that. It held up really well. But regardless, this brings us to our sponsor, and you're going to want to protect your new iPhone, and ESR has you covered. We're going to take a look at their classic hybrid case, cloud soft case, and cyber tough case. All three cases have ESR's stash stand and are MagSafe compatible. The stash stand acts as a camera guard but can pop out as a stand for video calling, gaming, or video streaming. The stand can go from a 15 to 85 degree angle. Not only that, you can even have a MagSafe accessory attached while the kickstand is out. Even though these cases are very sleek, they all offer great protection as well as exceeding military grade standards. The ESR Classic Hybrid case has a slim profile at 1.6 millimeters and still includes shock-absorbing air guard corners and a 1.2 millimeter raised screen edge. The case is engineered to endure drops up to 11 feet, and having MagSafe in my cases is an absolute must, and these ESR cases ensure your iPhone charges fast wirelessly no matter which accessory you attach to it. The slim profile allows for faster MagSafe charging speeds as well. It's also nice that it uses a clear acrylic PC blend so you can still enjoy the phone's color. The Cloud Soft case is slim and super comfortable to hold and comes in nice looking colors, including this light tan color. The 5-layer structure is designed to withstand a drop from up to 11 feet. This case includes a strong 1400G magnetic lock, which is twice the strength of Apple cases. The material is a premium liquid silicone, and a pre-applied anti-static spray prevents dust from accumulating. If you're looking for the most protection, the Cyber Tough case has you covered. Absolutely crazy. It can withstand a drop from up to 23 feet. The groundbreaking 3-layer design features a robust PC backing, a flexible TPU softshell, and an inner poron lining gives you the ultimate drop protection. On top of the stash stand and MagSafe, you also get a strong 1500G magnetic lock. Of note, all three of these cases have a cutout for the new iPhone 16 camera control, so no need to worry. By the way, ESR has their Armorite screen protector, which is super easy to install. Just place your phone down and pull the trace tab. That's it. This is a strong 9H glass and fortified to withstand an impressive 110 pounds of edge pressure. Be sure to check out ESR cases and accessories. I will link to them down below. Next up, let's talk about that triple camera system on the back. In terms of hardware overall, only the ultra-wide lens got an upgrade. Shutter speed is noticeably quick when I'm taking pictures, which is great, especially if the subject I'm taking a picture of is moving. We'll talk about some of the pictures I took in just a second, but I want to talk about this new camera control on the side. Now, I had to switch to double press to open up the camera app. With single press, I would just accidentally open up the camera app just a little bit too many times, but double press solved it. In terms of functionality, it's a lot of fun to use. After about a week, there's still a learning curve. I'm still learning how to hold it and use it when you're holding it landscape versus portrait. I have no problem swiping through all the menus with a lot of precision. It's really nice, but I do forget where some of the settings are that I look for, so that's just gonna take a little bit of time. Just switching the lenses is probably the one I use the most between 1, 2, 5, 0.5x, and even flipping it to that front-facing camera. That all can be done with camera control. Something I've noticed about the camera control, if you use live photos, it actually makes a clicking noise when you take a picture. Here we go. So you hear that really brief, slight little click. I'll actually do a live demo here. Going into that photo, let's see if it makes that noise. Do a live demo here. Yeah, so you can really hear it. App developers can take advantage of the camera control. Watch this, double press. It's not opening the camera app. It actually opened up the Instagram camera app to take a story. Double pressing in the camera control, the half press doesn't actually do anything, but if I do actually press the camera control, it takes a picture for me. These are within camera control settings. Instagram has shown up. No other app has yet, but I'm still going to stick to camera for now. This is where you can switch it to a double click instead of a single click. Photos taken on the iPhone 16 Pro have been really impressive. Those portrait shots look fantastic. Specifically want to focus on that ultra-wide angle lens, especially because it has that new 48 megapixel sensor. Ultra-wide angle lens is a nice upgrade, especially when you're in lower light conditions. The sensor can let more light in, so the shots turn out higher quality. Now, the real place the iPhone 16 Pro shines is when you are filming video. One of my new favorite camera features is the addition of 4K 120 frames per second video recording, which we're doing right now, but it gives you the ability of higher quality slow-mo shots. Let's test it out. Okay, let's go slow that down. Once you film a video in 4K 120 frames per second, you can go into your phone, and when you go to edit, the speed icon up towards the top here, select that, and it gives you the option of a specific percentage of speed or frames per second, all the way down to 24 frames per second. It brings up this bar down towards the bottom. That is actually where your slow-mo is going to start. So we want it to start right as I'm about to swing. So let's play this video now, actually, and you'll notice when it gets to that point, it will slow down my actual swing. There we go. Let's look at it in the large screen. Slow-mo shots. Let's test it out. Now, onto battery life. I'm going to jump right to it. It's really good. Battery life on the 16 Pro Max is definitely better than my 15 Pro Max was. It might be good enough where I could use the 16 Pro. I might have to switch to it and test out that battery life, see if it lasts me long enough. I've also noticed that 5G connectivity seems to be a little bit quicker as well, just in the area. That's going to be very dependent on your end, but I do think they added a different modem or an updated modem in the 16 Pro. And of course, Wi-Fi 7, that's a really nice addition, especially because I now have a Wi-Fi 7 router, so I can take advantage of all of those perks that come with that. Overall, are all of these updates and changes worth upgrading from the 15 Pro Max? Probably not, realistically, but it is a really solid upgrade from previous versions. I know I didn't dive into Apple Intelligence too much. That's coming very soon. Stay tuned for a future video on that. Of course, I've been really enjoying it, actually. So anyways, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about the iPhone 16 series this year. Be sure to subscribe. A lot more videos coming soon. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.